Live. Oh, hello everyone. It is I, Tom.
And Galen.
This time I'm back on this side. How does it feel? Oh my god.
And I have a snake on my nose. See, well, these are my new glasses. I'm just kidding. I thought it was weird how much they fit. I also wondered if it would.
It did
how
scare
long
me.
It would take
It
to
did
notice.
genuinely scare me. It reminded me of those. Do you remember those glow in the dark little ropes that they had in the 80s that they were selling to people? And it's like you can make little like spectacles and things to wear. And the kids were
Kind of like that.
Yes, it's like that. Well, we got the Brick by Brick fragrances in the mail yesterday, 4 out of 5 of them, and we thought it would behoove us this early into Pride Month to jump on and actually smell them so people understand what we're talking about, what they smell like within reason, and other things that you might understand as a result of watching this. For example, why you would buy perfume from people who go live on the internet with a rubber snake on their nose. First thing.
Just
maybe you'll
want
understand
to be taken
that
seriously
in time.
That's how I do it.
So first of all, happy Pride Month to everyone out there, and I'm talking specifically to the 2 people who are already watching us live right now. 1 and 2, you and you. It's as if you are sitting here in front of us, and then I'm also speaking to the innumerable others who will be watching gradually at their leisure at some point in the future. Oh, it just jumped to 5. Happy Pride to the 3 people who just stumbled into the room. It's like showing up late to the AA meeting. So I figured at this point you don't need us to explain to you what Pride is or why it's important, especially at this particular moment. But I did think that before we start, I would talk a little bit about the lab's in recent years Pride releases, which I think are really cool. Is that okay? You're
for it.
You're in the room. You have a say, and these other 2 people, 5
5. There are 5.
Other 5 people, they can just turn me off. But you're stuck with me.
I can zone out.
All right.
I will listen. I will try to be a participant in this.
Just to say that that doing a fragrance release for Pride, like I think historically has not been it's not like the most important thing in the world. It's a really cool opportunity to raise money for organizations that we care about who are doing good work, and that's something the lab has always been interested in. I've really, in the past years, we've pushed to make sure that we were diving headlong into areas that I think might seem untouchable for some. We were out there years ago doing a drag queens reading to children, drag queen story hour, now just drag story hour, fundraiser fragrances. Last year we did the Cotinos series that was raising money for Athlete Ally that supports inclusivity in sports for everyone. These are areas that I think if you're not especially in the community, and in some cases even if you are, these might not be areas that really touch your life that much or that you feel like you personally have much of a stake in. And so I think it's really cool because we've been able to get in there to bring attention to some organizations where this is their entire specialty. And also to just show that it's okay for anyone supporting this stuff. Yes, you can stick your neck out and say that it is actually completely fair for trans people to compete in sports, and that inclusivity and equity in sports is important and attainable, and here are the examples of why and the research, whatever. This is just we're all in it together, is what I'm trying to say. So it's been really neat to, over the past years, to watch these areas that I would have thought at one time, which were kind of inside baseball, are now in the mainstream because they're being shoved in everyone's faces during campaign season to scare them and or to bully other people into silence and make them feel like they just don't know enough about a particular thing to say something. And I'm chances are you know more than you think you know. My mom, is funny because she has said recently or whatever, my mom doesn't think that she knows a lot about stuff. And then I was like, Mom, you literally know more trans people because of me mainly, but like also through meeting them through her work and stuff, than like almost anyone else that she knows. Like she weirdly is much more aware, and she doesn't have a sense of authority about it, but like she's got this sense that she like like really can't talk about it, and I just think that's wrong. So the cool thing about doing a big Pride release is now we just make it everybody's problem. And so this year for this series, we decided to go old school with some classic Stonewall scents, referencing, of course, if you are new to planet Earth, or very young perhaps, the 1969 Stonewall Uprising, June 28th, 1969, all hell broke loose. I'm not going to rehash the Wikipedia page for you.
You're watching this on the internet, so like open another tab.
You are just 2 clicks away from knowing all about it. Yeah. But there's humor in it too. I think Pride is one of those tricky things where it's like it's a vigil and it's a protest and it's a party, and there's just like a million ways to do it. And so Stonewall is an interesting anchor to put, it kicked off modern Pride celebrations as we know them, that protest. But it was a big, messy, crazy, chaotic event with police violence and mob violence, and just like it was a time. So there's much has been made of the first brick thrown at Stonewall. It's kind of a meme at this point because everyone was throwing everything, but it's just kind of a shorthand, often referenced for just like trans women, particularly trans women of color who were like joining the fight on the front lines there. But the first brick thrown at Stonewall, or like, would you have thrown a brick at Stonewall, has just been kind of like an enduring metaphor for the whole ball of wax. So we decided this year to really focus on that brick. And Beth created this fascinating brick single note fragrance. So this is just 5 milliliters, pure oil, essence of brick. So for reference, this is a brick that I stole from our neighbor's yard, because there was a pile of bricks and I needed a brick to take pictures with for the bottles. And when I say stole, I have every intention of returning the brick. So it has been borrowed. And if there was someone around, I would have definitely asked if I could borrow it. And instead, I just took it. And I figure the work required of getting it home, because hold this. It's really heavy. Lift it up for the people. Yeah. You want to smell it?
I mean, it doesn't really smell like much.
No, it doesn't. Partly, I mean, it's cold because
it's cold.
It was outside, and it's like been a rainy day.
Like, it's just very cold. It almost smells cold.
It smells. This brick smells cold. Truly, this is just like a prop comedy at this point. It's a gag, because the idea of the brick and the brick smell is really more about, I mean, the materials and the process that produce a brick, right? You've got your like mud or clay. In some cultures, like straw is added.
Are you doing a Three Little Pigs?
You know, I wanted to work in some kind of Three Little Pigs.
I was gonna joke, like, I hear if you make a house out of that, a wolf cannot touch you.
Nothing's getting through this baby. What's it?
Unless it goes down the chimney.
In Pretty Woman, the condom joke, where she's like the gold coin or whatever. You know, she's like, nothing's getting through this baby, right?
Yes.
Anyway, the brick is like the ultimate contraceptive device, really, because
sure.
Talk about preventative. So,
I don't have a condom, but I do have a brick.
So the brick, though, is this substance that is like forged, fired, baked.
Forged, fired, and baked.
Or those are all the same thing,
Shake,
maybe.
rattle, and roll.
Anyway, the bricks are made, and there's something, I mean, You'd really, I think, want to smell a fresh brick if you were gonna compare
Yeah,
the
right out of the oven.
brick single note. The Pillsbury brick recipe. Pillsbury should make bricks for Pride.
Yeah.
It's just like the Poppin' Fresh, like what is it, the
yeah.
croissant rolls where you just like pop the thing open,
Yes.
roll them out, pop them in, put them in the oven at like 900 degrees for like 2 hours, and you're ready to go. So anyway, so so we took this brick single note accord, ingeniously crafted by Elizabeth Burial, our head perfumer, crafted with love in memory of the first brick thrown at Stonewall, whoever she was. And then we added that to 4 other fragrances, 3 of which we have here today. We had a hang up, I guess, with glitter brick where they weren't able to get it in the package. And I can do maybe some kind of specialized glitter brick later in Pride. We'll do like maybe a little standalone video for that one. And by then, other folks will have their bricks and we can all hoist a brick and sniff it as one. So, so let's just start. I mean, the great news is we're sniffing very few perfumes today, so this can only get so silly. Well, I mean, we already had you bench pressing a brick, basically.
And I had a plastic snake on my nose.
You did.
So silliness is rampant.
It's dangerous to go on stage with a prop you haven't rehearsed with. That was
Right.
like the main thing I took away from theater school, theater camp. Okay, brick single note. First of all, can I please highlight this beautiful snake illustration by Eric Turner, Eric Turner is the one who did our Pride Monsters character artworks for Pride, for the Drag Story Hour, and I think a couple of other things for the lab over the years. The glittery Krampus, the sassy Krampus.
There was a hair gloss.
Oh yeah, the wig spray
wig spray,
illustration. Yeah. So same artist, and it's just like the snake coiled around the brick, because we knew we were going to be doing a snake oil. Anyway, brick single note. The essence of grit and obstinance distilled into 5 milliliters of pure oil, crumbly kiln-fired clay, and a hint of sand. I want to say right now, first of all, before we smell this, that autocorrect hates the word obstinance. And at every point during this rollout of these products, autocorrect has obstinately tried to change the spelling of this word or replace it with something else. It's like the worst thing.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, and they're like, I'm pretty sure that like
obstacle?
We as artificial intelligence tools dictate what is real and what isn't.
Abstinence?
Abstinence. This is the
I'm not really sure what word you're trying to write, friend. Don't have a condom, but I do have a brick.
Yes. So, without further ado, or maybe just like minimal further ado.
Oh, minimal ado.
A bit of ado about a little bit of something. Let's do a little skin test of the Brickaroo, shall we? I have things to say, so I want you to go first.
Oh.
Pretend I'm not here. Goes to sleep.
Oh, okay.
No,
you're not here.
Turns on TV, falls asleep on couch.
I'll just watch some Charmed and go to sleep. Well, I don't know. This is a lot of pressure. I
did put a lot of pressure on you, and that's not fair. So I will, since I'm much more comfortable talking.
I like that I will say the description of like fresh out of the kiln, there is something very fresh about it. Like it does feel like a fresh stone. I don't really know how that even makes sense. You know?
Like a brand new stone.
Untouched by grime and the, trouble of the world.
My first thought upon opening this is that, so there is this like really rough edge to it that at first reminded me, that smell that ladybugs have?
Yeah, I do.
Do you know? There's a kind of like a bitterness. And I don't remember why I know this. Like, I don't think that like it's from crushing them or something. I don't know. Do they just smell weird though? They have the
I mean, they have a bit of a smell.
and they
It's
smell.
fine.
Does can someone confirm for me? There are 10 people
Like,
watching
they
right
don't
now.
bathe.
Do you have experience? You know how ladybugs just have that natural BO? I don't know if it's their blood. I don't know, but there's like a kind of an interesting, pithy, like bitter edge that also I associate with maybe like the kiln firing, like a bit of like a burned bake, you know?
Yeah.
But the thing we're burning isn't like organic, like really, it's clay. And it's definitely like there's a mineralic quality to this.
Yeah.
But it also has simultaneously like a warmth that I associate with the baking, and also like a coolness, which I think is like the coolness of stone, because like that is a weird thing about a brick, right? Like it is. Someone says I can't smell ants, and I guess I lost it. Maybe they said they can smell ants. Someone said they can or can't smell something. Follow me for more updates. Anyway, I was just gonna say that there's an interesting quality because we're talking about something that is baked but also cooled, and like the scent somehow contains both like the baking and the coolness of the stone. The result. Let's put it on. What do you say?
Okay.
Cannot ant, cannot ladybug. Ah, okay. Can't smell ants or ladybugs. Well, thank you for letting us know.
You know, just so you know, these comments when you send them, they're truly only there for like 5 seconds, and you have to be
I
like,
know.
Sorry,
I gotta be quick. And he's got the giggles, and
I have the
I'm
giggles
distracted.
and I can't read from this distance, so I'm like, what? Okay, you already put some on?
I did.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's really fascinating. First of all, someone who buys a brick single note, I think they understand what they're going for here. This is not like a really cosmetic interpretation of something. Like Beth is going for like an element of realism with maybe like a hint of poetic lyricism.
I mean, it does smell like a stone.
And it is sandy. And how do I explain why I can tell that? You know what I mean? There is like a grittiness to it. Like it kind of smells like sandpaper feels.
That is a interesting way of putting that. Yeah.
It's got like a nice cool heaviness. There is still something a little fresh about